It's been 1 week since the Cybertruck unveil, and I've noticed that a lot of people have gone from, "This is the ugliest truck I've ever seen," to, "I think I actually kind of want this truck." I want to give my 2 cents on this effect, which I call the Cybertruck Effect, and try to uncover why I think this happened. Let's start at the unveil of the Cybertruck. This was the first time the public laid eyes on the Cybertruck, which was built only a few weeks before the presentation and was teased at for years. When I first saw the Cybertruck, I honestly didn't know what to think about it. I liked the front of it, but the side view, which was the view we got most of the time during the unveil, was not very appealing to me. I wouldn't consider myself to be one of those people who called it ugly, but I certainly wouldn't be one of those people who claims to have fallen in love with it at first sight. When it comes to looking at a computer screen to tell whether or not I like how a car or vehicle looks, I think back to the Model 3. When I first laid eyes on the Model 3, I personally felt disappointed in the way the front looked. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was the worst part of the Model 3, and the only thing that saved it was the fact that there would be a license plate in front of it. That changed when I first saw a Model 3 in a parking lot. It looked way better in person, and seeing it for the first time, it completely changed my mind about the front. That's why I held off on letting that feeling of first impressions guide my judgment. And oddly enough, as I kept watching the Cybertruck presentation and kept looking at the truck itself, I found that the looks of it started to grow on me within 20 minutes. I literally texted my friend, "Not sure I like how it looks," near the beginning. But 10 minutes after that, I texted him, "The more I look at it, the more I like it." Very strange. This was while I was watching it being live streamed from Tesla, and I did have another device playing a live stream from Now You Know, a channel which covers Tesla news. And I glanced at comments once in a while, and it seemed that there was a huge consensus that everyone thought it looked terrible, was ugly, and was a joke. Despite all of this, I still ended up liking it more and more as I kept looking at it. And after a week, I'm pretty sure I consider this to be the coolest vehicle out of the Tesla models that are currently out, and my preferred pick if I had enough money. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people who pre-ordered the truck because, simply put, I don't have the money. But tons of other people have at this point in time. It's about 200,000 people, and probably still growing. How did this happen? Part of it is definitely the specs and the function of the vehicle. I don't think you can deny that this truck can do what other trucks can do, and more. I'm not really much of a truck person, but I do trust truck YouTubers out there, and the ones I watched love this truck. So that's definitely one reason why people want this truck. Perhaps they got past the crazy design and decided to go all in on the function. And here's where I believe that's incorrect. If we look at the designs of Teslas before the Cybertruck, most of them have a similar story to tell. When I was first introduced to the Model S 3 years ago by my Tesla fanatic of a friend, I honestly didn't care that much. All cars to me looked very similar. But oddly enough, the more I saw the Model S on the streets, the more it seemed to look better than the other cars around it. My friend told me this story once that he noticed a car driving near him, and he kept looking at it and thought to himself, "This car looks pretty good," and then realized that it was a Model S. He said that none of the other cars around him made him feel this way. On top of that, I did feel kind of disappointed at the Model Y unveil. I felt like it looked way too similar to the Model 3 and was expecting something more. But the more I looked at the car and the more I thought about it, I actually prefer the Model Y over the Model 3, mainly for safety reasons, but the fact that they look similar isn't a hindrance. This, plus the story of how my perspective changed on the Model 3, makes me believe that, simply put, Elon and Franz, the head of design at Tesla, know what they're doing. They purposely designed the truck to match the function, and they took a risk in making it look completely different from any other truck out there. But if you think about it in terms of the designer's perspective, they would never release something that doesn't at least look good to them. I believe that most people form their first impressions around the idea of what they believed a truck should look like, and when their ideas were shattered, they went with their first instincts. And when you have something that looks like the Cybertruck, which looks like no vehicle around with no curves in sight, it's going to be a bit jarring to look at in the beginning. But once you get used to it and start looking past the, "Oh my gosh, this truck is so different, it's kind of weird" feeling, the design shines through. But that's just my theory. What do you guys think about this wave of people who changed their minds from calling this truck butt ugly to making a complete 180? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be making a video about all of Elon Musk's notable endeavors this year once the new year hits. so be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss that. Elon continues to inspire me in many different ways, and I make these videos hoping that inspiration can reach others. Thanks for watching, have a nice day.